Hello and welcome back to another dish of Carrie's Gardening Channel. So today is May the 25th, 2025, and the beautiful peonies here are starting to open. Now these were planted, I believe it was about 3 or 4 years ago. And you can see these all have buds in them. Now as you can see, I do not disbud my peonies. I just let them go and I let them bloom. Some of these were younger roots, so they are not blooming yet. It's just going to take them a little bit longer to bloom. See this gorgeous one here? These are so pretty. They're sort of like a coral color in a way, like coral and pink. They're beautiful. Now, yeah, these here have not started to bloom yet. This one here has buds coming, so some of your varieties of peonies will bloom later, and some of them will bloom earlier. You can see these here are just starting to come. I do have another patch of peonies elsewhere. And you can see this one here is just starting to open here. So when you're growing your peonies for cut flower production, you do have to plan 3 years in advance for them to be blooming, because it usually takes them about 3 years for them to start blooming. Now I did have one that started blooming last year, and I didn't take the buds off of it. I just cut the flowers when they were ready. And there's a lot of different information out there about when is the best time to cut your peonies for your cut flower production. And a lot of different people were saying when they felt sort of like a marshmallow, which this one here feels like a marshmallow to me, that's when you want to cut them. But I've read a lot of different things about cutting these for cut flower production. And for me, this stage right here is perfect for my project, for what I'm working on. And this one here is perfect for me. This one up here is going to work for me. So it's a lot of different information, and I think it kind of depends too on what you want from them when you're cutting them. If you want your blooms more open, the closed blooms will last longer. When your blooms are open more, they will not last as long. But like I said, for my project, this here will work. And if you ever get where one of your peonies is sticky, the flowers are sticky, that's actually the sugar and like the sugary syrup that's in the flower itself. I've run into that already. So you want to make sure when you're cutting your peonies or any of your flowers that you're using clean pruning shears to do that with. And I carry a little bottle of alcohol around to sterilize my pruners with, and then I go ahead and make my cuts on my plants. So you want to make sure when you're cutting your peonies or any of your flowers that you're using clean pruning shears to do that with. And I carry a little bottle of alcohol around to sterilize my pruners with, and then I go ahead and make my cuts on my plants. And you always want to make sure that you're cutting your stems long enough. You can always cut them shorter, but you can never cut them longer again. So you want to make sure that when you cut them, you have them long enough so you don't have any issues with them. And I have my pruning shears here. They are nice and clean. So I'm going to come down here on this stem here. And I'm going to cut right above this leaf nod right here. There we go. So, you can see where I cut it. I accidentally cut the leaf off too, but that's okay. And I have my beautiful peony here. Now you do want to have a bucket of water to put these in when you cut them, a clean, sterilized bucket of water. You want to cut your stems on a 45-degree angle, because that will allow the water to take up through. You want to take off any leaves that would be below the water or touching the water, so we don't have any issues with bacteria or rot or anything like that. And you can see I just cut this beautiful one here. Now you can see there are ants on these, and I will have to get the ants off. So the ants help to open the flowers up, but they also get the sugary sap that comes from the flowers themselves. So ants and peonies kind of go together, and you do want to get those off of there. You don't want ants crawling all over the place on your table. So you can see where I cut this one here. There is another bud coming. I don't know how large of a flower that one there will give. So this year is the first year that these have bloomed. It's a brand new variety that I never seen it bloom before. So I'm kind of figuring out here how this one's going to bloom. But gorgeous. It does have a fragrance to it. So another thing that I was really concerned about, and I am still concerned about it, is all the rain that we have been getting. Because I have had the rain completely destroy my peony crops already. And what happens is the rain gets down in the flowers and it actually causes them to rot. So that is a concern that I do have with all the rain that we have been getting. This one here is the last one I'm going to be cutting in this patch here. And then I'll show you the other patch that I have growing. And you can see this is my other patch of peonies here. And this is where I got one of my ones cut from last year. You can see this one here. It's a gorgeous, like, reddish color. Really pretty. And again, that one back there is not going to bloom yet. Some of the roots were really small, so sometimes they just take longer to bloom than some of the other ones. I don't think that is an issue with them being planted too deep, because if they're planted too deep, they won't bloom for you. I think it's just that they were younger and it's just going to take them a little while to bloom. Like this one here, you can see it's getting its blooms in. These have not reached that size yet, or over there. So they may still bloom, they may just be later. But you can see these have the big ants on them. Those things bite. And I have some links at the end of this video here that you can click on for how to plant peony roots. Now these were planted in the spring. A lot of people plant theirs in the fall time, but these were planted in the spring. So if you like my video, please like, comment, subscribe. Please don't forget to hit the little notification button as I put a new video on. Thank you for watching, and hope you have a nice day. Bye!